Okay. How you guys like this morning so far? Good? Yes? Awesome. Yes. And so there's a lot more to come, right? And what I want to share with you in this lesson is, I guess the lessons I've learned through my journey of coming from a Vietnamese immigrant, right? Came here with nothing, to the success I've created for myself, my family, and my friends, and the people I work with. And I want to share with you the success formula that I've learned along the way. Okay, so that way, you too can fast track your way to success a lot faster. It is now, there are a million different ways to make money in real estate and in any business, right? There's a million ways to make $1 million. Okay, in some ways take longer than others, right? Some ways, takes more struggle than others. Okay, but when what I want to share with you this weekend is just like what is going to be the fastest way to get you from where you are right now, okay, to your first million, or whatever that goal is for you. Maybe it's not 1 million, maybe it's 100,000. Right, this weekend will really open that up for you, because I know, for me, when I first got started, $1 million was a lot of money, right? It still is a lot of money, and so I'll give you a great example, and it leads perfectly into what I'm going to share with you. I was talking to a friend of mine who is raising $120 million for his business, a brand new business he's starting. And he just finished raising $90 million. He raised $90 million so far already, so he still have $30 million more to go. And I was talking to him. I was like, wow, I've never even thought about raising that kind of money to start a business before. In the real estate business, I've learned how to do real estate without any money. So if we do raise any money, the properties are pretty inexpensive. They're not like that level. I was like, wow, like for me, raising $100 million is pretty difficult to do, and that's a lot of money. And he said, what do you mean, Tim? That's very little money, right? Compared to what's out there, like the amount of money that's flowing out there, trillions of dollars that's out there every single day. 120 million is very little. And it's like, wow, what a shift in perspective, right? So like for some of you sitting here, like you think, $1 million is very big, just like I'm thinking 120 million is very big. And when you think it's big, it's like when I'm thinking raising 120 million is big, I don't even think about raising 120 million. It's like it's not in my realm of thinking. And so my goal this weekend is to expand your mind, to go way beyond whatever goals you currently have right now, right? And expand it bigger, and I'll share some of the success stories and students what they've done and achieved, and that opens up for you like what's possible for you. Okay. So to share with you a little bit about me, I'm married. I have 2 amazing boys. Tyler is 10 and Austin is 7 now. They're growing up so fast. We were just in Legoland this past week, and they're at that age where they can ride those roller coaster rides now. They're just like totally loving it. So I came here. My older brother and I escaped out of Vietnam in 1986 when I was 11 years old. The reason why we had to escape out of Vietnam is because after the war ended in 1975, you can't just leave Vietnam. You have to escape out because the communist government took over, and if they catch you, they would put you in jail. I remember like my whole family had tried to escape out of Vietnam many times. When I was about 6 years old, our entire family got put in jail. Because we were trying to escape out. And when my brother turned 18, over there they have automatic draft. They still do now. And so, if you're a boy, you turn 18, they'll draft you into the military. So what the boys did was they would either cut off their index finger so they can't pull the trigger, or they would escape out of Vietnam. When my brother turned 18, my parents wanted to get him out, and so they asked me if I wanted to come along. It's like, sure, why not? We'll be home anyways, right? We always have. So we got on this little fishing boat. Like, imagine about a 24-foot fishing boat with 37 of you on it. Right? It's like super tight. There's like hardly any room to sit. And we floated out at sea for 7 days and 6 nights. And on the 5th day, we got hijacked by 5 pirate boats. And these are not like Pirates of the Caribbean. these are real pirates with swords and everything. And they can't, when that happened, I was so scared because I've heard so many stories about when pirates hijack your boat, they'll rape the woman and throw the man off the boat. So I was like, asking my brothers, like, what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to us? They came over, they basically stripped the adults and took whatever valuables they could find. And luckily, they left us on our way after that. And so I spent 6 months in Malaysian refugee camp, another 6 months in the Philippines refugee camp. And then I came here to Houston, Seabrook. That's when I started. My brother and I used to live we stayed in Seabrook for a couple of months with my uncle, but that didn't work out. And so we moved into a little 2-bedroom apartment off of Gassmer behind Westbury, for those of you who know this area well. It was a government subsidized housing, apartment. And at any given time, there were 8 to 12 other single guys living there. To think about now, like my brother and I should have bought a duplex or a fourplex, right? And subleased it out to those guys. Rented, they probably wouldn't pay the rent anyways, because they're the kind of guys that would rather be in jail than out of jail, because at least they'll get fed in jail. I remember like so many days coming home from school in middle school, and like open up the refrigerator and there's nothing, like literally completely empty. There's nothing to eat. So fortunate, I got through that and finished high school, finished college. After college, I went to work for an IT company up in Dallas. When I was there, I was like, yes, I made it. I achieved my American dream, the dream that my parents had for us to come to America, get well educated, and find a good job. Right? Isn't that what all our parents wanted for us? So when I was there, I was like, yes, I made it. And in April of 2002, they called all of us into the office and said, you are all fired. The company is filing bankruptcy and we're laying everybody off. And so I was crushed. I didn't know what to do. It's like, what am I going to do next? It's like, well, I've always wanted to start my own business, but it's like, what business am I going to start, right? And luckily for me, there was a real estate seminar in town, free real estate seminar in town. So I decided to attend that seminar. And at that seminar, they told us for $3,000, they teach us how to get rich in real estate with no money, no credit, and no experience. I was like, man, that sounds like me. But I mean, that was a huge investment for me back then. I was like, wow, I have my credit card, I can put this $3,000 on, but what if this doesn't work? Like, how am I going to pay for the bills when that comes? Right? And somewhere in the presentation, they share with us that 80% of self-made millionaires in America invest in real estate. I was like, wow, like I want to be a self-made millionaire. Right? And if 80% of self-made millionaires in America invest in real estate, then that's what I want to do, right? And so I got the courage and signed up for that program. Long story short, I've done well over 400 deals. Like, stopped counting, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. My team and I have bought and sold all kinds of properties, from houses to lots to condos, I made my first $1 million within 2 years in the real estate business. And then I did that again when I started my internet business back in 2006. I've taught thousands of people how to get started in real estate. I've created, even just like locally in Houston, I've created several millionaires as a result of what they learned from me, since I started teaching. I was the guy, have you ever heard about the term flex option or heard about virtual assistants? I was the guy that that created flex. Flex option didn't exist before me. That's something I created. Virtual assistants, I was the guy that brought virtual assistants to the real estate industry. People were using, you're used to hearing call centers being outsourced. Back then, it was outsourced to India a lot, right? And more recently, more in the Philippines. So, back then, like the whole idea about virtual assistants was just, very uncommon for people. And so I've, throughout my career, my team and I have trained, probably over 1,000 virtual assistants now, to help real estate investors all around the country. Some of the things I'm proud of, I have an amazing life, an amazing business. I was sharing, so one of the things that inspired me recently is to get my next generation up, right? To train my next generation. So I recently hired my niece who's back there. She's going to college, and because I want to provide them with with what I've learned and with this skill set of real estate investing, and then Nathan, her boyfriend, is joining our team as well. And I was just sharing with Nathan, it's like, what, for me now is that business is not about making money anymore. Money is it's a great side benefit of that, but it's really about making a difference for someone else. I'm rehabbing a house in Pasadena right now that I'm going $5,000 over budget, and I was like, so it has a roof leak, and I can fix the roof and make the roof look nice. But I was like, what? Let's go ahead and replace the roof. I want to provide a really good home for whoever that's going to live in here. It's like just little things like that, right? And then like my real estate business, same thing. It's like I do my real estate just to get my family involved. I have a sister that just moved here from Vietnam, literally less than 2 months ago, and she bought her first investment property 3 weeks ago. And then and same thing with this education business that I have. It's all about making a difference for you guys, helping you get where you want to go, whether it's getting out of your corporate job, right, to making your first $100,000, your first $1 million. Like that's what I get my fulfillment from. So I love empowering entrepreneurs and making millionaires. My passion is to share with others like my experience, right, what I've gone through, because I literally came from nothing, and I've made a lot of money, and when the market hit back in 2008, I lost a lot of money as well. I was wholesaling 9 deals a month, as well as rehabbing at least 3 deals a month. So I had tons of properties on the market, and like literally overnight, the market shut down, right? And so I lost a bunch of money, make it back, and so it's like there's a lot I have to share with you. So like in this market that we have now, it's so awesome that I've been through that, because now it's like watching history repeat itself, and now I know how to navigate it. Imagine that. Like for most of you right now, this is your first time getting started in the real estate business. You haven't been through that cycle yet, right? So it's like you driving down a dark road. You really don't know what's ahead of you. You can kind of guess, right? For me, it's driving down that road the second time. So I know what's coming. I know what's going on. Like I know how to take advantage of it. How when to get aggressive with it. When to slow down. Right. So the reason why our students are so successful right now is because we're able to guide them through all of that. And so yeah, I wish I have, like this kind of education when I first started. You guys, so you guys are like super lucky. Um, I love the freedom that I have. Freedom is a big one of why I wanted to be a business owner. I didn't want to, I don't want to, clock in the morning, clock out. Like I have to ask permission to take vacation or days off. It's like that's, for me, that's not a life for me, right? So, I love the freedom I have. Coming here this morning, every time I have a seminar and I have to drive to the office in the morning, I forget about the traffic. I was like, man, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this every day. And but I love to be able to go anywhere I want with my wife and my kids and with our team. I've spoke on the same stage with Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Paula Abdul. Can you believe she's in the education business now? Cool. Tony Shea, he's the CEO of Zappos. How many of you guys know Zappos? A few of you, yeah. I spoke on the same stage with him. I've interviewed him before as well. Many other thought leaders, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen. And what I was teaching them on, it's funny, I was like the youngest guy in the room. And I was teaching them about virtual assistants, and how to automate your business with virtual assistants. I work with an amazing group of people. You guys met some of them already, and you're gonna get to know them along the way. I love the travel that I get to do with my family, with our team. We just came back from Las Vegas. There's I don't remember how many of us. How many of us? 22 of us went, right? And I'm really proud of of the people that I get to make a difference for, get to help. Whether it's doing your first deal or doing quitting their first job. Hugo, where's Hugo? Where are you? Back there, making his first over 300,000 his first year in the business, starting from a guy that didn't know anything about real estate, right?
You didn't know what a deed was.
Yes. Hugo shared a lot about how one time I was talking to him on the phone, and I was talking about you deed this property this way, and he's like, what is a deed? He's like, I had to take a step back. It's like, wow, okay, very newbie, right? Rick Miles, who now did over his first year with us, he did over $200,000, $240,000 while working a lot less. The year before he started with us, he was already making over $100,000, but he more than doubled his business and cut his time drastically, by building team and systems that we teach him. Steve and Susan did over $105,000 their first 6 months with us. The first year with us was in June, and they did over $200,000 the first year with us. Later on, you're going to hear from Cynthia and Ron. I'm not going to share the numbers, so that way they can share. They've only been with us for 10 months. Amazing numbers as well. And so that's what I want for you guys, right? So it's just a show of hand. How many of you guys still working a job and you're looking to have real estate be your job replacement business? Okay. And how many of you your goal this year is to make your first 100,000? Okay. And how many of you are to make your first $1 million? Okay, good. All right, or more. Anybody more than $1 million? What is it? Throw out some numbers. Your first year in the business. 5 years? 5 million. 5 million. Awesome. 5 million. Awesome. Yes. So great. Yeah, and tomorrow we're gonna go into the specific business model and the business plan to get your first $1 million within a year. And of course, if you want to do that, if you want to do less than that, then you cut down the plan that we have for you. And if you want to do more than that, then you increase that accordingly, right? But there's a very formulaic approach to making your millions. Okay, it's not all just guessing. All right, so I want to teach you about 5 steps to success. Success is a lot easier than most people, make it to be. The first step to success is knowing what you want. Knowing what you want is extremely, extremely important, right? Because if you don't know what you want, if you don't know that what you want is to go from here to Legoland, in California, right? Then you leave out this office, go to your car, drive home. It's like you're not going where you want to go, right? Or even worse, like you head toward, Florida instead of California, or toward Mexico, okay, instead of California, right? So knowing what you want is extremely important. We're gonna go through a little exercise here in a little bit. Knowing why you want it, right? Why do you want what you want? And every one of us, why is gonna be different. When I first got started, man, all I wanted was to make $1 million by the time I hit 30. That's it. I didn't care what it takes, right? I didn't care, if I'm gonna sleep or not, right? That's what I wanted. And I was able to achieve that, right? And so, in the process of that, it's like, I think about it now, it's like I don't hustle like the way I used to hustle anymore, and because the reason why I want what I want now is different. Like for me, business for me now is no longer about making the money. And I make great money doing it, but it's about making a difference for whether it's, the seller that I'm dealing with, or the buyer that I'm selling the house to, or my staff that I'm working with, or, students that I'm teaching. Like that's what it's about for me now. And then the third step is to know where you're at. Right? If you want to go to California and you don't know that you're in Houston, right? Then you don't know where you're gonna take, how you're gonna get there. Tomorrow we'll have the map for you, but you got to know where you're at financially, with your time. Like what time and resources do you have? What kind of talents do you have? Right? The fourth step is extremely important. Is be what you want. Okay? Be what you want. If you say, I want to be, I want to be a millionaire within a year, right? I want to be a millionaire within a year, but, you sit at home watching TV most of the time. Like, that's not what millionaires do. Millionaires are very intentional. They wake up in the morning, they already know what they need to do for the day, right? And they're on to it. They're on to achieving I have a student right now, it's Steve and Susan, a great example of this. They're trying to hit their $1 million this year. This is their second year in the business, guys. Not even the second year. They started with us, June of 2012, right? And I was just talking to him on the phone yesterday. He has 5 deals going on. It's like, I have a deal that I'm partnering with him on right now. So he was reporting me on that deal, and he's like, "Yeah, we have another deal in West Bay Area, and another." It's like his whole day, from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to sleep, it's like tons of activities, productive activities that's moving him forward toward his $1 million goal. Okay, so you gotta be that what you want. The reason why we don't achieve what we want is because we're not being that. We think that it's out there somewhere in the future. If you want to be a millionaire, you gotta be a millionaire today. You first be it before you can actually achieve it. Okay. The fifth step is taking action consistent with what you want. Right? Now, these sound very simple, right? It's the implementation, that people, people get where the challenges comes in, and it's really a muscle, a building muscle for what you want in your life, whether it's finances, real estate. I'll give you an example. It's a very personal example. So I've been dealing with some challenges in my, with my wife, my relationship with my wife, right? And man, I can tell you like how many thoughts and so we've been arguing a lot lately, and it's like a lot of days I wake up just like, oh, I just want to end this, like I can't take this anymore, right? And however, my goal, right? I have a, I created this thing called BFF, Best Family Forever. So that's my goal, and so best family forever means that that we're always together. So like divorce and separation is just not an option, right? That I like that my wife experienced me as the world's greatest husband, my kids experience me as the world's greatest dad, right? And that I'm a great role model for them, and so these thoughts about ending this relationship is like, it's like that doesn't work, right? And it's very so that's what I've been dealing with, right? And it's about taking action consistent with what I say I want, right? And so yeah, I share that publicly to like get it out of my space for this week, yeah, remind myself too. And this is what you have to do for yourself. Like you declare your goals. You're gonna write down your goals in a little bit here, and you're gonna during the lunch break, you're gonna share that with other people, and you have other people hold you accountable to that, right? Because now I just created a group of I don't know how 60 people here holding me accountable, right, to being who I say I want in my relationship with my wife, right? And that's what it takes. Right? And our students are successful, because that's what we make them do too. Like, share with us what their goals are, and we hold them accountable to achieving those goals. Okay. All right. So, so now I want to share with you the shortcut way to success. How to save more time, money, energy, is to use role models. Okay. Anything that you want to do, there's people who have already been there and have done it, right? So me having thoughts of of ending the relationship, I talked to a friend of mine who got into a divorce a couple years ago, and he said, Tim, marriage is difficult, but divorce is like way more difficult, right? So that gives me another perspective, right? So that becomes my role model of like what not to do, right? It's cheaper. That's what a lot of people say. I mean, Robin Williams is a great example of that, right? He went through 2 divorces. Out of his divorces, literally lost all his money, right? And so he's been in financial, he's been having financial challenges, and so he committed suicide. Couldn't take it anymore. Right? Great example of that. Sad, but great example. So use role models. So whatever you want to do, someone else have already done it. So learn from them. Okay. And find out what that person is doing. Okay. And not just learn what they're doing, but learn what they the mistakes that they made, right? And what they're not doing. Those also will help you as well. And if you do the same thing that they're doing, then you're gonna get the same results. I can tell you, like our students who do deals, it's a very specific things that they're doing to do those deals, right? The students like Hugo and Steve that are making well over $100,000 in their business, they're doing very specific things. So if you just do that, right? You just do that, then chances are you'll achieve the same results. Right. So now let's work on your what and your why. Okay. Jim Rohn says it this way. The reason why most people don't achieve what they want is because they don't know what they want. Okay. And because they have impotent goals, like goals that don't matter to them, goals that don't mean anything for them, goals that because it's just nice to have. right? So I want you to ask yourself, what do you want? Imagine it's 3 years later, 2017, August 2017. Looking back, what has have to happen in your life, both personally and professionally, for you to feel happy with your progress? Okay. I'm going to give you some list here to just think about, right? What you want for your net worth to be. Your investments, your passive income, your active income, personal income, business income, how much money you want to give.
Handout for this, or
No, you just write. No, these are just sort of. I don't want you to limit your goals around this, right? And so I'm just putting this up here for you to have something to think about. But write it down. Okay. Savings. Say that again.
You just hold on just a second so we can write all of it down.
Okay. Don't worry about writing all this down. I'll tell you what. I'll email this to you, but I just want to throw this out into your consciousness, right? And just think about what goals you want. Just and you can continue to work on this during the lunch break. Okay. How much savings you want to have? What about your personal goals? Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, relationships, career, contribution, time, toys, travel. What do you want? How many of you guys know Eddie Gant here in town? So Eddie is one of the most hardest working guy I've ever met. Right? And Eddie and I were having lunch, and I said, "So Eddie, you're an extremely hardworking guy. Why? Why are you working so hard?" And he said, "Well, at the end when we die, whoever has the most toys win, right?" So that's his why, right? For his toys. I'm cool with that. But yeah, I love Eddie. You guys been writing? Yes? All right. Now, put a timeline. You want to achieve it in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Okay. Goals are nothing but dreams with a deadline. And then that. Like I said, you can continue to work on this, during the lunch break. I have several homework assignments for you during the lunch break here. Okay. All right, and now I want you to pick, out of all the goals that you wrote down, take one overriding goal. That's a goal that, if you achieve that, it's going to allow you to achieve most of the other stuff that you wanted. What is that? Okay. And write a paragraph of why you absolutely are committed to achieving this goal, that you want all of us to hold you accountable for to achieve this goal. And if you smell some food and it makes you hungry, we have pizza. We have pizza for you guys for lunch today. So if you want to stay in, you can. Yeah, you certainly can do that. Blake Yarbrough from Capital Concept sponsored this lunch for you guys. So he is a super nice guy. Blake has an amazing story. His very first real estate seminar back in 2006. So January 2006 was at my office back then. That's how I met Blake, and he has gone on now to, made millions of dollars. Yeah, he's an amazing guy for sure.
It's all because of you.
Thank you, Blake. I wish I could take all the credit. Yes. All right. So right now, what is it that you need? 5 things that you need to help you move forward with this goal. Mentors, accountability partners, someone to kick your butt, maybe. Someone to call you every morning and says, again, it could just be, like a colleague, someone you meet here and said, hey, let's hold each other accountable. Like every morning, I'm gonna call you and tell you, what I'm gonna be doing for this day, and you hold me accountable to that, right? Someone to hold your hands, money partners, deal partners. What are the things that you need to be able to achieve your goals? A fitness coach. It's funny. There was a period of time that I got really inspired to have hot bodies like a hot body like Brad Pitt does in Troy, the movie Troy. And so I hired this personal trainer. Man, the guy is tough. Well, so my first day with him, I literally passed out for 15 minutes. He got so scared. I couldn't see anything. Everything was just white. So he had me lay down, breathe, all kinds of stuff. It's so funny. And after 3 months with him, I didn't put any picture of it. Man, I start to show some really nice muscles and stuff. But I stopped doing that one. That was just way too hard. I met him at the gym 5 a.m. every morning, 5 days a week, 5 a.m. And man, that was too intense, because coming from someone who hardly ever worked out before that to doing that kind of intensity, I got burned out from it after 3 months. So don't do that, right? But yeah. So never leave a goal without taking immediate action toward your goal. Okay. So I want you to write down, what is the one action that you're gonna take during the lunch break here. One action that you're gonna take that's gonna move you toward that goal. Small or big, it doesn't matter. Okay. It could be, making a call to a seller, a call to a family member. It could be anything. Right? What's that one action? Everybody got it? It could be sharing with the person sitting next to you what your goals are, right? And then ask them if they want to be your accountability partner. Right? Got it? All right. So next, what we're going to do next